welcome to another episode of the Destiny Truthcast. I am Lost Souls, and this is episode number 30. And today we have with us, as always, RedWingGirl. How are you doing today, RedWingGirl?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to be here with you again, as always. Had a little week off from the holidays. Hope your holidays were good.
Yeah, my parents are here for the holidays, so I'm getting fat. I'm eating way too much food. Too much cookies, too much cake, too much pie. It's too much food.
There's no such thing as too much cake, too much pie, too much food. I'm just letting you know that right now. And we have with us today ProYunkinator, finally able to join us. So you were actually supposed to be on, obviously, the week before Thanksgiving, and due to technical difficulties, you were not able to be recorded, but we have you here today. How are you doing?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here.
And how were your holidays? And if you could, just let the community know a little bit about yourself as well.
All right, my holidays were great. I think I've permanently traded in my jeans for sweatpants now for the holiday season, so I have plenty of room to grow.
I know, right?
I am. Right? Yeah, it's the only way to go. I dressed up for Thanksgiving. I had like my button-up shirt on top, but I wore nice-looking-ish sweatpants underneath just to make sure that I had plenty of room for dinner. So, as the older I get, the wiser I get when it comes to festivities.
And what can you tell the community a little bit about yourself and where you're from, and what makes Yunk Yunk?
All right. Well, I am 26 years old. I am a full-time IT specialist for the Department of Agriculture. I'm also a full-time student, a full-time husband, and a full-time dad. So I try to sneak in a little bit of Destiny whenever I can. It seems like I've basically kind of been gaming my whole life. I grew up with the Nintendo and Super Mario, and my first exposure to first-person shooters was Duck Hunt. But I really felt like I started to get into gaming on the PC with the Half-Life series. I played all the mods that came from that, like Counter-Strike, Team Fortress Classic, Civ Co-op, Deathmatch, all that stuff. Those were great games. But really, ever since Destiny's released, I've pretty consistently and exclusively played Destiny. I'm definitely probably a PvP player more than about anything, but I enjoy getting in there for a raid or a nightfall every now and then.
Well, I heard that Half-Life 3 is going to be released any day now.
Yeah, right.
No, not really. Well, it's really great to have you on. I honestly don't know how you fit in Destiny with your full-time life, but we're glad you do, and we have a lot to talk about today, so glad to have you here. So obviously we had the big announcement yesterday with the Dawning, and the day before that, obviously, the announcement of Iron Banner. So let's start in, I guess, with the Dawning. And what were your thoughts, Yunk?
Oh man, that trailer was great. It was like 90 seconds or something, but I loved every second of it. Bungie has a great hype team. I mean, they really do. They do a great job of getting people excited for new content. Surprisingly, I am looking forward to SRL. I didn't do hardly any racing the first year that it was out. It just didn't interest me. I was definitely part of the group that said, I bought a first-person shooter game. I don't want to ride a speeder bike around. And I did a couple races, and I felt like it got old and stale with just the two tracks. But watching it and watching their hype around it, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get on my Ghost. Has anybody heard? Did they keep the broom around? I would have loved to have flown around in the broom for this. But I'm excited for SRL, so I think that'll be fun.
No, the broom was taken away. It is no longer there.
Well, it looks like they're going to bring all new scooters out, so it's going to be all new stuff. My only concern, or I don't know if it's really a concern, but I still have my SRL book, and I'm wondering if that is something that we can add on to with the races that we do, or if they're not going to benefit anything. Because I think a couple of the races on the book are one for the map that was on Mars, and one was the map that was on Venus, and that may not apply with the new maps that they're coming out with it.
That's a very good question, and actually one that I think would be nice to hear an answer to, because I know you had said that before, that you didn't get a chance to actually finish your book last year, and so yeah, that would be cool if it would, beyond whatever the new book is, let you finish that out and get the rest of the drops from it that you weren't able to get before.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and I guess it doesn't have the specific maps. It just says, oh yeah, I guess it does. So the Campus Martius on Mars and the Infinite Descent on Venus. So if they don't have those two, this SRL book isn't going to work.
Well, I believe it is those two maps plus two new ones. So it looked like one was around the area of the Iron Temple, it kind of looks like, and the other one was, oh my god, I'm kind of blanking on where the other one was, but yeah, two new ones. Oh, the other one was the Plague Lands, it looked like.
Well, they have a new Siva scooter, so that'll be kind of cool looking. I also noticed that they had what looked like new ornaments for some of the gear that they're going to be dropping. That's for the dawnings, and I think there's going to be a quest line or something that you're going to have to do to get that stuff, which is interesting.
So I've heard that the quest lines out there are going to be one for Icebreaker and then one for the Thunderlord variants. Was there confirmed quests for different scooters, or was it ornaments?
I have no idea. They said that from December 13th to January 3rd, you're going to find new gifts from the city citizens to open in the tower. And I suspect that a lot of the ornaments and whatever we're going to see will be received in there. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe there's going to be some ghosts and some other things that we'll be able to do. But I'm thinking that those gifts will be what we're going to get a lot of this stuff out of. I mean, it's like 3 weeks long, and we're going to be getting them every week. Or I should say every day.
I'd like to see ornaments as prizes for winning, or maybe complete. I know we like to shy away from win-driven activities or bounties, but it'd be cool if you got ornaments for winning so many races, or even participating in so many races. Because I have terrible luck with RNG, and if it's anything about just do so many races or just see it drop, I'll probably never get it.
Well, it looks like that there is going to be a lot of new helmets, and like what we had with the masks in the Halloween event. It looks like they're going to have masks too. I wonder if those are going to be light level, or if they're just going to be like the same thing where you apply them.
Like the snowman head and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that they're doing a Christmas event, but a lot of people have asked for it, and looks like they listened, and they brought a winter event for the holidays. They brought back the Icebreaker, which everyone asked for, and it looks like you're going to get a lot of packages every single day, as opposed to having to buy them from Everest. So I think this one potentially isn't going to be the big cash grab that the Halloween event was.
Well, I'd like to right now go to just some general community thoughts on this, and just put up a post, just seeing people's thoughts, questions on the Dawning and the trailer. And first one I want to start out with is from Ali. And Ali's take on this was, SRL without good loot will die quickly, especially that we have a total of 4 maps. Zavala quests may bring life to the event. Icebreakers finally made it back. It'll not shake the PvE meta because of how they are currently designed, but it'll sure shake PvP a little bit. Nexus Strike coming back took them long enough. PvE scoring system is a great interaction, especially if they add stats to it similar to PvP combat rating. Cool looking armor. That's good. Void Solar Lords took them long enough. They were in the TTK trailers. And they say, I have a feeling that a weapon sandbox update is on the way, as well as a shit ton of RNG microtransactions. So then we have the Grass Fever responded to the post, and their response was, I love how they re-add old content and try to make it seem like they've improved the game. Nexus should never have been left behind. Icebreaker should never have been left behind. SRL should have been a permanent playlist with tracks being added periodically. Strike scoring is something which has been asked for a very long time. Most probably people forgot about that by now. They've already lost a lot of customers and continually pushed the rest away. If Bungie truly was listening, all of this would have been brought back with Rise of Iron, along with Vault of Glass and Crota's End. The whole thought process of dropping Year 1 and allowing Year 2 to be infusable shows how ass backwards they are.
I mean, I understand and even partially agree with some of the frustration the community feels with their content cut or made obsolete. I get it, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge that Bungie made one mistake by cutting it. It's not a mistake to bring it back. And if you're going to gripe at that, I mean, there's some legitimacy to say it never should have left, but now that it's back, you should be able to enjoy it, and you should be able to commend Bungie on doing the right thing and bringing it back. Because this new Dawn or Dawning update, that winter event, doesn't cost. It's free. I mean, they're giving it back to us free, so it should be a win-win. And though I understand some of the salt behind it, we just need to get over it and enjoy the new stuff, or new old stuff.
Yeah, the arguments are getting really worn out. I mean, I kind of am to the point where I just skip over the whole, bring back the Vex, bring back the whatever. I've been reading the forums for a long time, like a lot of other people. I've never heard anybody ask about strike scoring. I mean, I know that it's a thing, but I'm actually kind of surprised that they actually put it in there, because it seems like they kind of want to just have everyone, just play the game without having to compete against each other, and there's not like a lot of competition, but it looks like they're bringing competition into PvE, which I think is kind of unusual. I'm not against it. They had scoring for PvE events in the Halos, so I'm not surprised that they haven't had it in the past, but I've never seen anybody complain about it. In terms of the weapons, I mean, okay, so you guys have been complaining about this stuff forever, so they bring it back, and now it's, not acceptable. They bring back the Nexus, everybody's been asking about it, now it's not, now they're complaining about it. It's like Bungie can't win no matter what they do. I mean, if these people have been complaining about the raids, if they brought the raids back, then everybody would just be like, I can't believe they brought the raids back. It's just more content that we already had. And it's like a circular argument. Like they have listened to the community. They've tried their best to bring things back. We're at the end of the life of this engine or this Destiny, and they're just trying to give us something to do or some events before they come out with Destiny 2, which they've already stated that they're going to be doing more updates more frequently with more stuff. I mean, it's really D2 where we need to focus our attention on, ask for change, and hope for some of the things on the wish list make it. But for these little things that they bring in, we have to just take what they give us, because they're not even focusing on this one. They're really focusing on the next D2.
There have been so many posts, the last, particularly month, of people just begging for Icebreaker to come back. Which is funny because, of all the things that people have asked for to be brought back, that was one that just kind of was always forgotten about, but it's been there at the forefront lately, and here it is, it's coming back. And so, now they're being demonized, for listening and for bringing it back. Why didn't you bring it back sooner? The same thing with the Nexus and whatnot. And like you said, one of the major things that people are just clamoring for on the forums is for them to bring back the old raids. So as you said, what happens if they were to do that? They're just going to, again, get completely just ripped to shreds for bringing back old content. And we all know that that's exactly what would happen. But the thing that, for me, when the Taken King released, as you said, RedWingGirl, the focus is Destiny 2. And any of the major changes that people want, and we've stated this on the Destiny Truthcast for a long time now. I mean, we've said this for going back to the first episodes, that the major things that people want aren't going to happen in Destiny 1. Those focus for those needs to be on Destiny 2. They have this small team working on Destiny 1. The live team is about 10 people. And so the content that we're going to get isn't going to be earth-shattering, and they're not going to be bringing in artists and designers to design a lot of new stuff. They're going to be using designs and resources that are already in their system. I just think people are...
But that's the thing, though. So, how many aliens or how many alien things can we fight, right? Are we suddenly going to be experiencing in D2 a new alien race? I mean, are they just going to forget about the Fallen and the Vex and Cabal? I mean, there's still a lot of storyline that they need to bring to us, because we still don't know who the Traveler is. We don't know what the Stranger is. What the hell happened to the Queen? So there's a lot of stuff that they could bring us, but these things take time. They take months and months and months to write a story, to bring it to us, and those are the things that I'm sort of hoping that we're going to see a lot of in D2. But one of the things that they did say that they were going to bring to us after the release of the Iron Lords was more vault space. And I think I certainly hope that with the announcement of all of the sparrows that are going to be dropping and the armor that's going to be dropping when you win these sparrow races, and then you go into all of these other social spaces and open up all these gifts and get ornaments and whatever else they're going to give us, masks or whatever, that we need more vault space. And I really hope that they bring some more vault space, because I know some people aren't collectors, but I am.
So I think Bungie's answer to the vault space issue is more kiosks. I think that instead of having to store things in your vault, that they're going to give you another kiosk. And I prefer that, because right now the vault does not have any sort of organization or way to customize it. You have to run around the tower a little more, but I think they're going to probably keep pushing the kiosk. I think that was the foreshadowing of that was the Festival of the Lost kiosk that we just got. I think that there's going to be one for our sparrows, ornaments, and everything. And for now, I prefer that until we get more customization within our vaults.
But that doesn't work with armor, though. Or guns.
I mean, if it's... Well, right. So, yeah. I mean, I agree. You do need more vault space, but I bet we don't get it until Destiny 2. I bet that their way around it is just going to be the kiosks. So there's been ideas thrown around about a legendary kiosk and how that would work. I don't know if we want to get into it now, but I don't see a legendary kiosk being viable just because of all the different combinations of weapons that you can roll or stats on your armor. So I think for now, I hope that I'm wrong, but I think for now we're going to be stuck with what we have.
Well, Jay Stevenson Town has a post up that is on that. Seems like we're going to need a vault space increase. His take was, no worries, Bungie, I'll just delete my year 1 trials adept weapons. And it's got a lot of comments on it, and I see your thoughts, Yunk, on the on more of the kiosks, but I also see RedWingGirl with the constant struggle of what to keep and what to get rid of, because we just don't have the space for armor and for weapon sets if you're a collector. And that's something that she is really into, the different sets, the Queen set, she's trying to get now, the raid sets, and I know RedWingGirl, you had to delete a lot of yours going into Rise of Iron as it was.
Yeah, I just deleted everything, all year 1, everything. I mean, the hell with it. I mean, even if they brought back the old raids, you're not going to be able to infuse your old armor. So, with the exception of like a few weapons and some Queen gear that I got originally, I just deleted everything because there's just no point in keeping this stuff anymore, and it's really unfortunate. And luckily, I didn't, buy it with silver packages. But the stuff that I bought with silver package, like some of the stuff that you can't get anymore, like the Spectre gear, you can't get that stuff anymore. And I bought it through Everest, and there's some other gear that I bought that I'm not going to get rid of. I bought money for it. It's cash, and I'm not going to get rid of it. So they need to provide us with more vault space for all of this armor that we can win and buy.
Yeah, and the thing with it is, Bungie did say, and they specifically said that not only more vault space was going to come with Rise of Iron, but more ways to organize our gear. And they let us know it wouldn't be with the release, but it would follow after. And I think that, with it releasing in September and it now being December, that it is time that they address this and they let people know, if not actually releasing the vault space, but at least let people know what's coming and what their plans are, and to open up on how they're going to improve it. I think it's been long enough, and I think that is owed to the community for them to give answers on this at this point.
I agree.
Well, I feel like if they haven't announced it now, that it's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, and that just doesn't make any sense to me that they would put that out there to the community that it was coming, knowing that it's always been such a hot button issue on the forums going back to year one, and the initial increase that they did give us with the Taken King. If they weren't going to give us any more, they should have just let it be. But the fact that they specifically put that out there to people, it's time for them to address it one way or the other. Either say, we've changed our mind, or here's our timetable for it. So I want to ask just both of you personally what you're looking forward to the most out of the Dawning event from what you've seen.
Well, for me, it is the one thing that has gone unmentioned, but everybody thinks it's going to happen, and that is the balance patch. I know it's not necessarily a popular view, but I'm a fan of the rotating meta. I'm not really, as far as PvP goes, I'm not elite with anything, with any weapon or any subclass or anything like that. I enjoy the variety that comes from a rebalancing patch. I don't want to see any weapon get nerfed to the ground or destroyed or anything, but I look forward to the rebalancing every time, just because I get to learn a new gun or learn a new ability on some character. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'll be bummed if there's not a rebalancing patch, but I think there's going to be one. Unfortunately, I think shotguns are probably going to get hit, but maybe sidearms will become a little more viable.
And just real quickly, what are your thoughts on shotguns, and do you believe that there should be a change to them?
No, not at all. I think they're fine. I've been running lately in 6v6s No Land Beyond with a sidearm, and the sidearm, it's the Wormwood from the Future War Cult vendor. It's amazing. I mean, I can, unless they're just right in front of me, the sidearm is pretty much holding its own on any Matador out there. So shotguns are definitely counterable. You just got to change your play style, and if there's one thing this community does, is they'd rather change everything else other than themselves. So we'll see. I bet shotguns get hit, but I don't necessarily think they should.
I completely agree. I've been doing the same thing. I gave up sort of my fusion rifle because I couldn't get off enough fusion shots to counter an incoming shotgunner, but the sidearms have really stepped in, and I've been using the Raid sidearm, and I've had a lot of success with it. I mean, it just shoots so fast, and these guys are like coming towards you, and by the time they get there, they're already dead in the shotgun range. I mean, if anything, I'd be surprised if they wouldn't give range to shotgunners.
Oh no, don't say that. Don't let anyone hear you say that.
So they're not in the buff sniper rifles because snipers are so terrible now.
Well, it's so fucking funny. So the other day, we're playing PvP, and all of a sudden, it was like everybody had a sniper, and I'm like, what is happening here? Like everyone decided that they were going to give up. Snipers seem to have like been removed from the game. Like I wasn't really seeing a lot of snipers, and then all of a sudden I'm like seeing a lot of No Land Beyonds and snipers. Like it's like how is this all of a sudden coming back so strongly that snipers are now coming back to the meta again? I don't understand it.
And it was every game we played a couple days like that.
I think snipers are the most balanced they've ever been right now. They're still at the point where a skilled sniper can pretty much run the table on any map and any game type, but they're a lot less forgiving than they used to.
Well, I think some of the new snipers don't have that harsh flinch. I know when I went to use my 1,000-yard stare, after they did that update to them where the flinch was like really difficult. I mean, you couldn't even use it in PvP. I mean, your reticle was going all over the place when you were trying to shoot something, and so I deleted all my 1,000-yard stares because they really destroyed that weapon. But I noticed a lot of the new snipers don't have as harsh. It wasn't hit as harsh on that. Have you noticed that?
As far as flinch goes, so I haven't used 1,000-yard stare in a while. I finally got the God roll drop on my longbow, so that's what I've been using. So longbow is an older gun, and I have been using that one, and I've enjoyed it a lot. I did try to use the Gone Not Forgotten sniper rifle from Archon's Forge, and to me, that one flinched worse than anything. I even got one to roll with unflinching, and I still couldn't use that one, so I went back to longbow. But I haven't tested out 1,000-yard stare. But I think the flinch is good where it's at. I don't want to see it undone. If anything, if it is hitting one named legendary harder than another, I'd like to see that balanced out. But where it's at right now, I think it's pretty good. I think if you're a sniper and you see someone first, you should be able to get the kill. But if you're a sniper and they see you first, they should be able to hit you and cause enough disruption that they can't land a headshot, and that's where it's at right now. So I think it's pretty good.
And RedWingGirl, what are you looking forward to the most from what you've seen that's coming in the Dawning?
Well, for me personally, it's going to be the private matches for the SRL, so I can repeatedly kick your ass up and down all the tracks.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I was waiting. It's not going to happen. Is it going to happen? All right, Yunk, I'm going to ask you your honest opinion, Yunk. Do you think she's going to whoop my ass up and down the tracks?
Out of 3 races, RedWingGirl will take 2. That's it. I'm calling it right here.
He has never won a race against me. Not one time. Ever. Not even on Forza.
Oh, fuck. You weren't supposed to say that. Come on.
He's like, go buy Forza. I really like the racing games. I'm like, okay. So I get this, you get the first crappy car that you're defaulted into getting or whatever. So I got this shit can car. He pulls out like this race car that he's like gotten accumulated with all of his souped up add-ons or whatever, and I kicked his ass like the whole game. I'm like, are you serious now?
Have you tweeted out a picture of your race car setup with the steering wheel and the pedals?
Oh, see, that's so not right. That is, see, I don't even know what to say right now. SRL comes out in a week, and I will be vindicated.
It's never going to happen.
Loser has to delete their favorite legendary. Put some skin on the line.
That is so wrong. I do not ever want to get rid of my Nady Salvation State. I can't do it.
You better win racing, man.
The thing that I like the most about these updates or DLCs or whatever, I like the sparrows that we get, like all the cool sparrows and stuff, and I like all the new armor, and the new armor looks really cool with the ornaments and stuff. But for me, I've got this thing with shaders and how they all work differently on different armor sets, and and between the Warlock, the Hunter, and the Titan, depending on what you're wearing. I could sit in front of the shader kiosk for like an hour looking at every single one with all my stuff on, and so for me, the most that I'm like looking forward to are the shaders. I know it's pathetic, but I wish they would give us more cosmetic stuff. So I'm looking forward to the ornaments and the shaders.
Well, I don't think it's pathetic. I think it's actually, that's a very good point, because when you sit there and you try on those shaders, like one like the Scion Stars, it's amazing how beautiful that shader is on a lot of the gear that you put it on, with that beautiful kind of teal color to it. But then you'll put it on another character and it's just like this poo brown shader that's just disgusting. So it is cool to go through and just see how the different shaders affect the different armor sets and the different character classes.
I've given up on all the shaders. Nothing looks good with Twilight Garrison, so I just resigned to the fact that I've got a life jacket.
Exactly. I don't
so
understand why they
weird.
won't make that thing change with shaders. I think it's just, at this point, it's just an inside joke in the studio, and they just laugh at people that wear it, I think, is what goes on there. Something we really didn't touch on too much is the addition of strike scoring. Hopefully they're going to make it a real competition, so when we do these strikes we can see who's the best there too.
So I'm actually surprised that it took them this long to develop something like this, because Bungie has proven to us that they want a rotating meta almost anywhere in any event. That's why they got rid of Icebreaker, because nobody was using another sniper, or that's why they got rid of Gallahorn. Nobody was using a different rocket. So with the meta, I think with the weekly bounties and the weekly bonuses and the weekly perks or new things, they're going to be able to more so control what people use when people reach into their vault for something new or different. So I think it's a great idea. I think we'll see some more variety. But honestly, it surprised me it took them this long, because this is just another way for them to kind of maybe recycle some of the content, recycle the way you play maps, recycle the way you use your weapons. So great addition. Surprised it took so long.
Yeah, I think it's a great addition as well, and particularly if they, I'd like to see them tie rewards to how you finish, and if you are the top scorer, you get some kind of special reward to really bring out the competition in it. But full disclosure, RedWingGirl, I was waiting for her to say it. I've never ever once outscored her in a strike. I don't think so.
Well, I'm sure I'll probably get a lot of assists.
Is Souls a kill stealer?
Oh my god. You can't back up and not bump into him. He's like all over your shoulder, taking all your kills. It's just unbelievable.
Where's the video of all this? Can I see this? I don't remember this happening.
Well, we'll create a video and we'll just show everybody. I'm only kidding. You do fine. So
another post I want to get to on the forums that I really liked this week was from Demon Beeman, and their post was bots for private matches. And they said, I think having bots in private matches would be a great add-on. It would allow for good practice with weapons, with a choice of how hard to make it, like Crucible matches, but with bots, it would help a lot.
Yeah, they have bots in Gears, and that's pretty. If you don't want to go in against another teammate against another teammate, they have bots in Gears, and I always kind of enjoyed that.
I think it's a fantastic idea, but I don't think it's really going to be feasible. This game has so much variety. I mean, down to perks, and I mean, it would be great, but I don't see them adding it. I think there's too many variables going into creating your enemy, but we'll see.
Well, if you're talking if the bots were Guardians, yes. But if the bots were Fallen or Cabal or Vex, I think that's a different story there.
Oh, okay, so PvE bot. Okay, yeah, no, that's a great idea. That sounds like a blast.
I think there's a lot of things it could do with it, and I think it would open up PvP to a lot of players that just don't stand. And I think the big complaint is the sweatiness of it. To be able to go into a private match and just play against the computer, I think would be cool for a lot of people, and it would really open up PvP in this game to a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm all for the more customizable options for private matches. SRL, the Sparrow Racing, is going to be in private matches now, and I want to hear them so bad that they're going to have a map editor open for us to create our own maps for the Sparrow Racing. I think that would be a great foot in the door into a fully customizable matches or fully custom matches. But yeah, I mean, so with the bots, I think that anything to keep pushing more options to the player base in private matches, I'm all for. So if you want to go shoot a bunch of dregs on Shores of Time, I'm all for it. That sounds great.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool if they did that. It'd be really cool.
And again, that's something that, Destiny 2, that's something that'll never happen in this iteration of the game, but I would hope that that's something that they've considered or they've talked about. And I'm kind of curious that maybe they have, because of quests like for the new subclasses, when we got our Night Stalkers and our Sunbreakers, our Stormcallers, and then now with Rise of Iron with the Gallahorn quest. I didn't do it, but I know RedWingGirl, I listened to you as you were running it, and it was on the PvP maps, but against the AI enemies, Fallen and whatnot. So that right there kind of just makes me think that maybe it's something that could happen in the future.
Wait, Souls, you didn't do the Gallahorn quest?
No, I'd like to, just because it sounded really cool going to the PvP maps and fighting the PvE enemies, but I really have no desire for the actual weapon itself and would never use it over a bolt caster.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, but that was my favorite quest of all time so far. I'm not a huge PvE guy, but that quest was a lot of fun.
So let's go run it, RedWingGirl. Are you ready?
Sure, we can do it.
So, and speaking of PvP, Iron Banner is coming back next week. And speaking of you, RedWingGirl, it is your favorite game type.
Yeah, I really like Rift. I know everybody hates it, but I really like it. I like the objective-based playlists. I think they're fun, and it's really unfortunate that it takes really takes a team to coordinate for it to be successful. And they really should have these events more often so that people understand the objective more, instead of not covering the person trying to get the rift or whatever, or trying to work together, and some people just go out there and just start shooting people, and then you miss the whole point of it. And so I understand why it's frustrating for a lot of people. It's definitely team-based, but it's doable. It's not like you can't do it. If you understand what the objective is, you sort of just stick together and figure it out. But I really like it. I'm glad that it's not Control or Clash. How many Control matches can you possibly play? And with Iron Banner, because it's such a special event, I like the idea that they use these not as frequented game types to play, to do it. I just think it's good.
And with the way that Iron Banner has been redone, I believe that wins don't matter anymore, because there's no more rank packages and the bounties don't require any more wins. So you just have to get out and play and shoot things, and you can earn rewards. The post-game loot tables now are full of purple. So, I mean, there's really... I get it, you don't like Rift, but it's not the end of the world. You don't need to win anymore. it's more fun to be with a fire team, but if you go in there solo, you have just a greater chance to get something to drop post game, and you just need to kill people to finish your bounties.
Yeah, I don't. It's an easy way to get armor. Now that they've put so much armor in the wins and losses. I mean, you don't have, like you said, you don't have to even win anymore. But that's really unfortunate though, because people then are going to be joining in on teams that a lot of people aren't going to care. I mean, for example, I've read a lot of streamers that are all complaining amongst themselves about how they're just going to sit back and just collect the rewards, and they're having like little arguments amongst themselves about, well, won't it screw up our KD and all this other crap. And some people are just like, oh, well, you just do a couple games, get the guns you want, and get out. And I'm just like, man, what the hell, like, what happened to just like trying to play the game and have fun? And I just don't understand some of these guys and their thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think that I'm excited for it. I wasn't the last go round, but I was playing solo, and it's just it's one of those game types where it's going to be a better experience if you're playing with a fire team. I'm really excited going into this one because I got an appreciation for the game mode playing with RedWingGirl, because it's a mode that she loves and she's really good at. And I just think, like I said, I think it's hard for solo players to get into it, and it's sad that people are out there just wanting to, I'm going to go in and not play and get rewards, because that kind of just kills the experience for others as well.
Well, it just reminds me of Capture the Flag, and that was like one of my favorite game types in Reach was Capture the Flag. I loved it. But more so, what I think it's going to do, and I can already foresee it, is that since Crucible seems to be leaning towards connection-based, with a lot of people preferring not to play, I think we're going to get a lot of lagginess in this Iron Banner. There's not going to be a lot of pool to collect for connection-based.
I mean, I think the solution to that is pretty easy. The whole skill-based matchmaking, connection-based matchmaking, you just develop a ranked playlist, and then you allow the user to select what sort of matchmaking settings they want. Just a handful of options. Say a fresh match, and then have a note under there that says may have longer queue times that makes you acknowledge, and then you choose whether you want to play ranked or not. And I mean, I think that would solve so many of the issues that we see now. I don't know. I just feel like Bungie's probably mishandled this by presenting this false dilemma to us that it's either connection or skill, and that there's so many ways around it. Maybe Destiny 2 will have a ranked list or something like that, but we'll see.
Well, I don't think they presented it as one, or it's either one or the other. I mean, it's always been a mix of both. I just think that it's been misrepresented by a lot of people, and streamers in particular, the evils of the skill-based. And it's just P2P, and people have spotty internet, and it's a system where it's trying to match us in a short period of time. And I know we've gone over this the last two episodes, so we won't stay long on this, but the only fix to red bars in Destiny would be to extend queue times. And when that happens, people get pissed that they're waiting to play. And the other thing people don't consider is that when it is connection-based matchmaking and the matches are uneven, that people quit. People will not sit in matches where they're going in and they're facing a team that is way better than them, and they're getting killed, and they drop out. And so then you have, again, all the rash of getting dropped into matches mid-match, and it just throws everything into a clusterfuck. So there's still the post proliferating about remove SPMM. It's not the answer to fixing what ills this game and what ills its matchmaking. So Destiny 2, yeah, hopefully they figure out a system that is better than the system they have now, but it's kind of a be careful what you wish for, and I think people are being led down rabbit holes by streamers, and I just don't like what I read in a lot of these posts, and I don't agree with it.
Absolutely. I've started to follow the streaming community a little more, and they are frustrated with the skill-based matchmaking because they got popular, one, dominating their matches, but two, doing different challenges, like some guys going for 50 kills in a clash match, or some as a grenades and melee only challenge, where they used to get all these viewers because they were handicapping themselves going against a bunch of randoms and still competing and doing well, and they got popular and they gained followers doing that. But as the matchmaking settings have changed a little bit, it's gotten harder, and now they're forced to stay relevant, to use the meta, which they're bored of or whatever. So I sympathize with that side of it, but I don't think we should make changes or rules just for the elite few.
Agreed, 100%.
And it's a lot easier to keep your KD up against lesser opponents.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for some of these people, streaming or YouTubing is their livelihood, and the way that people find them or find their gamer tag is by their ELO score or by their KD on the KD charts. So, I mean, it makes sense. I understand their passion for their KD because it legitimately affects how many viewers and affects their revenue, indirectly or maybe even directly. So, it makes sense that's what they push for. I don't fault them for pushing for that. But Bungie's done a good job, I think, of kind of mitigating that and keeping this a game for the players, by the players.
Yeah, but the game is for everyone, not just the streamers. I mean, I just don't. I don't understand why they think agree. they should be able to just sit around and take it easy. I don't get that. I mean, it should be a challenge.
So with SRL, I think I remember somebody from Bungie tweeting or somewhere saying that SRL wasn't going to be racing only, and I thought that led a lot of people to believe that it was going to have some sort of guns or banana peels or something on SRL, but I don't think the video showed any of that. Personally, I'm relieved that they don't have that. I can only imagine the nerve hurting that would result from adding weapons to Sparrow Racing League. But did anybody get any follow-up on that when Bungie said it won't only be racing?
Well, that's something that we were speculating on, and RedWingGirl and I were talking about that last week, and I was telling her, I've been really interested to hear, what else they were going to do, because they did say that there would be stuff for players that weren't just into the racing, but I think that is the whole strike scoring is my take on it, and
MNX's strike.
Yeah, yep, and all
and
all
the
that
quest
type of
line
stuff.
for Icebreaker and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's relieving. It would have been fun to have some blasters on your scooter, but I think it would have just been a mess.
Well, we were talking.
Awesome. I would have loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just what I need. I need to be fucking pedal to the fucking metal, fucking flying around the track, trying desperately to beat RedWingGirl and her to fucking blow me up. That's just what I need.
Souls, it sound like it would benefit you the most. If she's always ahead of you, that means that she's right in the crosshairs, man.
Exactly. Why you gotta be so greedy?
Oh my god. All right. So oh my god. So I'm playing PvP, okay? And I'm trying to get a hopscotch pilgrim with all I wanted was just full auto and the AOS scope and perfect stability. I mean, and RedWingGirl tells me, why are you so greedy?
The story is he already has one that he likes and he does really well with it, so now he's greedy. That's what it comes down to.
But I need it. I don't want it, I need it.
Anyway,
so we were speculating that maybe there would be some kind of stunt track before they announced it, and maybe that would be what the thing for the non-racers was, that there would be like some kind of like giant fucking jump or something, or some kind of stunt course that you were just going and trying to score points doing stunts. I think that would have been cool too.
Yeah, that would have been a fun way to blow off steam.
I think it would be cool on those trial maps where they have the where you're allowed to bring your Sparrow, that one on the moon, and just have a bunch of scooters just shooting at everybody. I think that'd be entertaining. It's the season finale for Westworld tonight.
And
I never got into this show.
I think it's funny, you know, if we would talk about Westworld for a second. You know, the internet has loved Westworld since it was released, and all the speculation and all the fun people have had theorizing and what they were able to guess and whatnot, and it's kind of reminds me of Destiny in the forums to an extent, you know, where, you know, people ask for Icebreaker to come back and then they're pissed when they get it. There were a slew of articles the last few days talking about how the internet has ruined Westworld, because, you know, we had all this fun getting to speculate on what was what, and now that stuff's been confirmed, that it ruins the show, and I just think that's kind of hilarious.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I like about Westworld. It's like a real life RPG. I mean, it's just so cool the way, you know, these bots are and how you interact with them, and it's like literally like a video game. There's so many coincidences that I just think it's a really interesting concept.
Do you find yourself, as you go through day-to-day life, that you're running loops? that maybe we're hosts running loops as we're out in the yard with the dogs every day or whatever?
No, but after I played Dishonored, I played low chaos and high chaos. I actually look on top of shelves and things and see how much room their space is to see if I could actually get up there if it was real life.
How many of your shelves can you climb?
Like, I wonder, can I blink up there on that shelf?
That's pretty funny. So I guess we're at the point in the program where we can discuss our favorite moments of the last, I guess, 2 weeks, since we were off and had no Truthcast last week, of playing Destiny or Destiny related. So start with you, Yunk.
All right. Last night, my brother and I were playing a little Trials of Osiris, and we ended up carrying his buddy to the lighthouse while my little brother used No Land Beyond in a sidearm. It was so much fun that we were able to use something so non-meta and do well with it. It was fun. My brother did a good job holding it down with fusion grenades and No Land. It was a blast, and his buddy got his first trip to the lighthouse, so that was cool. It was fun.
Yeah, lighthouse. I'm
That's
not
cool.
sure I know what that is. What's this lighthouse you speak of?
Hey man, let's play sometime.
Hey man, we're on. You just need to come carry us to the lighthouse. We're just waiting.
I'm not that good. If I was carrying people to the lighthouse, I'd be one of those evil streamers.
I can't get to the lighthouse. There's no way. I'm not good enough for PvP.
Man, it's
Well,
fun.
I
The
didn't
first
play
time
a
I
lot.
went took me a year. So a year of playing 20 hours a weekend. I mean, it took forever. But that first trip was almost euphoric. Like, I can die happy today. Not quite, but it was pretty special.
You know, if I would have done it in the first... I think I could have done it in the first year because it seemed like it was a lot easier then. But now, everybody is just too OP for me. I'm just like, oh my god, how did you even pull that shot off? You know, that was before the sniper and the shotguns were like totally rampant. I mean, people actually played with primaries more so than I think, but I can't do it now, but that's all right.
A primary named Thorn or Last Word.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. So I didn't really play Destiny that much. We finally went back and did the raid on all 3 characters, but we didn't finish because we just wanted the ornaments on the challenge, so we didn't finish. And I really haven't been playing a lot. I've been playing Dishonored, and that's about a 25-hour game. And I played both characters, and I did low chaos and high chaos, so I've been playing a lot of Dishonored. But I just finished it the other day, so now I have Titanfall that I want to try to play. So I haven't really played Destiny that much. I'm really sorry. I don't have any good Destiny stories. So what has been your favorite experience?
Well, yeah, we did finally get back into the raid. That was nice. But I want you to come over here and scope my Titan for a moment, and you'll see my. I didn't say blow up my Titan. I want you to look at my Titan and see how badass it is. You notice anything?
Oh, you got a queen's chest. Awesome.
Yeah, so that was
cool.
my favorite, I guess, from the last week or so. I finally got enough rep, and I wanted the Queen's helm, but the Queen's chest is pretty badass, and I got the Mark too. So I'm definitely liking playing my Titan again now that I'm getting some gear that I like wearing.
I'm so bummed that they're not bringing back Queen. Why they don't increase the bounty rep or create a quest line or do something with the Queen. It really bothers me. I feel like this is such an easy thing for them to do. Just put like bounties in there every day. Why don't they do it? I don't get it.
Or give Etheric Light a chance to drop from something other than having to grind that stupid fucking Prison of Elders. But yeah, I think all 3 of the bounties should be 500 rep, where it just takes 2 weeks to rank up instead of 3. I think that's kind of 3 weeks is just ridiculous. Well, I guess that will do it for another episode of the Destiny Truthcast. Want to thank you for being here as always, RedWingGirl, ProYunkinator. Glad we finally got to have you on. Really great getting to hear your thoughts on the game. Talk to you forever on the forums. And glad we finally got to get on here and get to know you a little bit, and glad that you're going to carry us to the lighthouse. That's really, really cool. I'm really excited about that.
Hey, thanks guys, it's been a blast. Yeah, definitely, we'll have to play. It's fun. Just you
Are
guys
you on
gotta
Xbox?
I am Xbox. Isn't that sad?
Oh,
We've
cool.
been friends.
He's always
for so long.
on. Yeah, you're always on. Well, we played once, but
We
you're always
raided?
in trials. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll have to do it sometime. You guys have to be not afraid to be down and dirty in the meta. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You got to get the greasy shotgun out there, the greasy pulse rifle, and the lighthouse is just around the corner.
No, I'm just chucking
right
lightning
on.
grenades, dude. I'm just chucking lightning grenades. Well, thank you to everyone that participates on the forums, everyone that weighed in on the post and gave your thoughts on the dawning, and we'll see what we get. I know the big concern that everyone has is the Eververse aspect, and so Bungie, I hope you listened with Festival of the Lost, and this is a different experience. But I think all of us here can agree that we're pretty much looking forward to it, and I know it'll be something fun to do for us. So thank you everyone listening for participating as always. If you want to join an episode, get in contact with us because we'd like to have you on and talk Destiny. And we'll see you all next week. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you.
See ya.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.